Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, we're once again asking ourselves, why? Why would you choose a shaky head over a Texas rig? You know, this is actually a pretty common question, I think, that I get is like, when do you choose a shaky head over a Texas rig? Because they're both very similar and you can use the same exact type of worm on either of them. But they are two very different techniques, and although they have a lot of overlapping situations that they both will work very well in, there are certain situations that one is going to do better than the other. So let's dive into it. But first off, we have to like define what we're talking about here. The shaky head. A shaky head is a presentation that allows you to present usually a straight tail worm on some sort of shaky head jig head. All right, so there's a ton of different shaky heads on the market. Most of them are going to be either ball shaped or some type of flat bottom shape, but usually they're designed to allow the bait to stick straight up. Now, that's what they're supposed to do. Most of the time with traditional plastics, they're not going to do that because the plastics themselves, the worms, just aren't buoyant. They're not going to stick straight up. But I like to use Elastec baits for that reason, because they are a buoyant material, and that means that they're going to stick straight up as intended. But shaky head, essentially just a finesse straight tail worm, got a lot of tail action, and it's rigged on a jig head. Texas rig, everybody knows what a Texas rig is. A Texas rig is just the quintessential, you know, weedless rigging style for all soft plastics. Essentially, you've got some sort of worm hook there, usually like just a round bend hook for, you know, a traditional worm like this. This is a Hayabusa round bend or offset shank hook. And you've got some sort of, you know, sliding bullet sinker, either lead or tungsten. That's most common. Today I've also got this little flipping bead for a little bit of clacking action. But yeah, you've got this sliding bullet sinker that you can also add like a bobber stop to kind of keep everything together. But a Texas rig essentially is the best way to present your soft plastic baits, either worms, creature baits, whatever it is, in heavy cover, including you know, heavy vegetation. But both of these presentations are very similar. But really, where I want to choose one over the other, and we're going to start with the shaky head. So although a lot of shaky heads, you can rig them Texas style, so they are weedless, they're really not as effective at coming through vegetation or like something like brush as a Texas rig. So really where I'm going to be fishing or choosing a shaky head over a Texas rig is anytime I'm dealing with clean bottom. Clean bottom situations, especially some type of long tapering structure, is a perfect scenario for a shaky head, and it will outcompete the Texas rig the majority of the time. And so that is the main situation. Another situation that I think is really important is just in clearer water. You know, when you want a more finesse presentation, you can Texas rig a small worm like this, but I think in clear water, I like fishing a jig head. It has more of a compact profile. It looks more natural to me. And so like clearer water, cleaner bottom, that's kind of where I'm going to be fishing a shaky head. As long as it has that clean bottom, it's not a lot of cover. The Texas rig, on the other hand, is really well suited for heavier cover. So if I'm fishing brush piles, or even if I'm fishing a point that has just a lot of cover on it, a Texas rig is going to come through that a lot better. And also fishing around grass. Fishing around grass is a really big deal with a Texas rig. So if you have more cover than just clean bottom, that's when you're going to want to lean on a Texas rig, and rather than the shaky head. Now, another thing that I need to point out is the fact that a shaky head is going to be better for dragging on the bottom than a Texas rig. So if you're using more of a dragging technique where you're just kind of pulling it along the bottom. I like the shaky head better because I think that the line actually makes less contact with the bottom just because of the angle of the eye there. But the Texas rig, on the other hand, the line comes straight off the front. So as it's dragging, it's constantly making, the line's constantly making contact with the bottom, which is not a good thing. So it's better for kind of like a lift and drop type technique. So anyways, those are some of the key differences between a Texas rig and a shaky head. Obviously, I'm showing both of these with different worms on there, but you can use the same worm for either of them. You just need to change the tackle up a little bit. But they do have very specific scenarios where you want to choose one over the other. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, drop a comment below. If you have a topic you want me to cover in a future video, also drop a comment below, or you can send it to sonar@sonarfishing.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm going to see you out on the water. Trust the process.